President Trump is fulfilling a massive campaign promise to get Washington swamp creatures the hell out of kids' classrooms. The administration is making good on its deal with the American people to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education, saying it's time to return power back where it belongs, to parents and to the 50 states. For almost 200 years, America had no federal Department of Education at all. States built their own education agencies as far back as the 1800s, long before the deep state ever got involved. So, what's the origin story of today's federal department? In 1979, President Jimmy Carter created this massive bureaucracy as a political favor to national teachers' unions in exchange for boatloads of campaign cash that got him into office. What began as a tiny office quickly ballooned into a sprawling federal machine, pushing unconstitutional national mandates, unethical ideological directives, and federal blackmail strings tied to billions of dollars. And critics say that's the core problem. If every state already runs its own education system, why are taxpayers funding a second federal one doing the same job? The Trump administration argues the federal agency evolved into a tool of ideological control, promoting nationalized curriculum trends like DEI training and gender identity policies that many parents never approved. Like this teacher from California.
Does everybody agree with the gender they were assigned?
No.
Some of us maybe. Some of us might go, yeah, that's definitely me. But some of us might be looking at that paper and going, I'm not a boy, I'm not a girl. And that's exactly how trans people feel.
Secretary McMahon calls her assignment as Secretary of Education a momentous final mission to rid the Department of Education as kids' scores plummet and they face lockstep indoctrination, counterproductive to sustaining an intellectually diverse republic. Here's what the shift actually means. States, not Washington, decides what kids learn. States control curriculum testing, discipline, standards, everything. And because all 50 states already have fully functioning state departments of education, nothing new needs to be created. It simply cuts duplication and starts reducing billions in federal waste. And critics argue that the system became less about education and more about political power. Teachers Union President Randy Weingarten is often accused by parents of acting like a cutthroat political mob boss, using her union's cash and influence to strong-arm districts into ideological policies instead of focusing on reading, math, and real academic basics. Completely abolishing the department would still require Congress, but the dismantling is already underway, piece by piece, marking the biggest transformation in education governance since Jimmy Carter created the Department of Indoctrination in 1979. Reporting for the White House for Lindell TV, I'm Cara Castronova.